Part 2 of Paardepoort covers the northern section from the 6th to the 16th kilometer. If you intend driving this port, it's important to watch Part 1 first, which contains the Google Earth orientation clips, as well as other important safety, tourism and historical information. The Sundays River Citrus Company employs approximately 1,500 people on a seasonal basis to pack the export citrus. There are pack houses in Kirkwood, Addo and Somerville. Kirkwood is also the capital town of the Sundays River Valley municipality, which also includes places such as Patterson, Addo and Enon, and has a population of about 70,000 people. Roses are also grown in the area, and there are several game farms situated nearby. The town also hosts an annual wildlife festival. A panoramic view of Kirkwood and the surrounding citrus groves is possible from the lookout in the Redberg Mountains, where Kirkwood had his first vision. The lookout is also well known as a dinosaur fossil site. The first complete dinosaur fossil to be found in South Africa, nicknamed Kirkie, was discovered near here. Kirkie was smaller than 2 meters. The South African Weather Service recorded a temperature of 50.3 degrees centigrade in Kirkwood in 1928, the highest temperature ever recorded in South Africa. To the north of Kirkwood are the Redberg Mountains, with the Paardepoort, which provides passage to the Redberg Mountains, as well as the Addo Elephant National Park. To the northeast of the port lies the Darlington Dam. It's also referred to as Lake Mens and is a gravity-type dam situated in the Sundays River near Kirkwood. It was completed in 1922 and only filled by 1928, the delay as a result of an extensive drought. The primary objective of building the dam was to provide adequate and perennial supplies of water for large-scale irrigation in a fertile area, particularly by storing and controlling floodwaters. By 1917, the Sundays River Irrigation Board was established and took over the project from the government's Irrigation Department in 1918. The construction experienced many setbacks, including lack of materials and machinery, with shortages caused by the First World War, unsuitable labor which were returning soldiers, the 1918 influenza epidemic, bubonic plague, and very difficult logistics and drought. The delays in completion caused severe financial difficulties to the irrigation companies, and eventually the state had to take over the debts of the irrigators, and £2.35 million had to be written off. The original dam was designed to store 142 million cubic meters. The high sediment yield of the Sundays River meant that sediment delivery into the reservoir basin quickly reduced its capacity. The dam wall was then raised by 1.5 meters in 1935 and again by 5.8 meters, bringing the total capacity to 327 million cubic meters. These additions took place in 1951 and 1952 to cope with the loss of storage volume. By 1979, the reservoir had lost 41.47% of its design capacity, with 135 million cubic meters of sediment captured behind the wall. The impoundment currently has a capacity of 187 million cubic meters, with a 35.3 meter high wall. Its primary purpose is for irrigation, industrial as well as domestic use. The serious drought of 1966 and 1967 emphasized the necessity to commence work on the Schoenmakers Canal to link the Great Fish River to the Darlington Dam as soon as possible. In view of an expected increase in irrigation below the Darlington Dam and the demand for water in the Port Elizabeth metropolitan area, it was decided to replace the Wellington Grove pumping station with the Miskraal Weir upstream of Wellington Grove and a short section of connecting canal to the beginning of the Schoenmakers Canal. To the northwest of the Paardepoort lies the Karoo town of Janssenville. Like Kirkwood, it also lies along the banks of the Sundays River, 87 kilometers south of Graaff-Reinet. Laid out on the farm Vergenoegd in 1854, it was proclaimed in 1855 and became a municipality in 1881. Said to have been named after General Jan Willem Janssens, who lived from 1762 to 1838, the last Batavian governor of the Cape. In the late 1700s, outposts of the Cape Colony, in the form of the trekboer and hunters, had reached and crossed the Sundays River. The greater portion of what now constitutes the Janssenville district fell under Uitenhage. The first European to settle here was Christian Ernst Schutte, who obtained title to land surveyed by James Swan in June 1818, described as late loan place Vergenoegd of 3,000 morgen and granted to C.E. Schutte in 1820. Schutte was required to pay to the Receiver General of Land Revenue an annual quit rent of 50 Rix dollars. Schutte later sold to Prinsloo and moved northwards, to be followed by the latter when the fierce and impetuous Petrus Fourie arrived from Swellendam in 1838 to become the new owner of Vergenoegd. Janssenville's notable buildings include the large Dutch Reformed church, a building in the Basilican style made of local stone which is a heritage site.